Why, hello! Welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast where, get this, we analyze, we scrutinize, and yes, we celebrate solo a Star Wars story 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Stuart Wellington, scoundrel, bartender, 1/3 of the Flophouse podcast, just hanging out with my two buddies talking about Star Wars.
Well, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
We're talking about minute 123, 123 today. Minute 123 starts off with Enfys Ness holding a child's hand as Chewie and Han approach them on the beach. And it ends a minute later with Enfys Ness giving Han Solo what appears to be Yoda's lightsaber.
What?
That's crazy. No one saw that coming.
When you said Enfys Ness holding a child's hand, because, you know, she's been portrayed as a marauder and a kind of ruthless villain throughout most of this, I did picture a severed hand. She's just like threatening the child's severed hand.
Skywalker style.
And she's kind of a child herself, though, right? She's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's fine if she chops off another child's hand.
I thought you were going to, it was like the riddle was like, oh, Enfys Ness is on the beach holding a child's hand. How does that happen? It's like, oh, she's holding her own hand.
Yeah. How could I hold a child's hand when I'm a child?
Yeah.
Well, so this brings me to a point. Last time we saw Enfys Ness and the gang, they had just gotten the drop on Dryden Voss's. Dryden Voss's gang went there to try to get the coaxium. Then suddenly they all popped up with guns, and they're like, "We gotcha." Yeah. Do you think they just slaughtered the? What do you think happened to Dryden Voss's gang, basically? Did they let him go? Did they say, hey, you want to join our team? Did they just kill them all?
It was the aforementioned ape army.
Yeah, they're marauders, right? Up to this point, had they been killing people or just been like bonking them on the head with coconuts?
They killed them when they were trying to rob the train. Somebody wound up killing those stormtroopers on the train, but I don't remember who it was.
Probably killed them.
Right.
Probably. They might have given some of them the chance, be like, all right, we do, join the honorable team. Kind of like, well, we're not really against you. We're against oppression. Oh, no, they are against them because they're part of the
I would say it would
Crimson Dawn has been threatening people. So.
Fit within Star Wars where even good people will just straight up murder their enemies. Look at every, we find, as has been mentioned many times in Rise of Skywalker, we have learned that, at that point, these First Order troopers are not even clones or robots or anymore. They're just like kids who have been press ganged into service, and our heroes are just mowing them down with blaster shots.
Yeah.
Not even giving them a chance to surrender, just killing them.
No.
So I feel like it would make sense that Enfys Ness, who is even more ruthless than the heroes in the previously mentioned Rise of Skywalker, would have just murdered this ape army of goons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's also one of the questions also about what they did with the stormtroopers at the end of Star Wars, or at the end of Return of the Jedi. Did they?
Those got eaten.
I don't just mean the ones on Endor. Like, what do they do with all the? Did they just
also
tell all the stormtroopers?
Yeah, everybody. It's like the Purge. It's just like, all right, from here until Thursday, if you want to eat a stormtrooper, go nuts. Nobody's going to judge you.
That was the deal the Ewoks made. They're like, we'll help you do whatever you want, but we get to eat every single stormtrooper that is currently out there. Deal. Saves us the trouble of having to kill them ourselves. So, all right, resolved.
Good. I'm glad we are able to answer that.
It's a real WikiHow situation.
I like the fact that we see Weazel here, the Warwick Davis is one of Warwick Davis's many characters in this movie. Never mind in Star Wars, even within this movie, he's got many characters.
Yeah, he's totally Austin Powers-ing it.
Yeah.
Does he have the most screen time of any actor in Star Wars?
Surely that can't be true.
I mean, he's played a lot of different characters, right?
Yeah, but they're all kind of like blink and you miss it guys, except for except for.
But if you add them all up, somebody
I wonder
probably
who does
done
have the
math.
most. Yeah.
I mean,
My
he
gut-
might not have the most, but he's up there.
I would think.
Just by sheer volume of characters.
Yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are the prequels and the
Yeah. Could be.
I was going to
Somebody
say,
do that math.
yeah, somebody do the math. Leave it in the comments below. We did look up the different character screen time per movie. I remember, and it was shockingly small.
Oh wow!
Like Lando has like 8 minutes of screen time in Empire. Like if you literally put all his scenes together, they're all very, very tiny. So
big impact, though. That's the whole key.
Yeah, he makes it count.
But
so
anyway.
I'm happy to see Weazel here, but it does seem like they gave him. And again, nitpicking. It's an action movie trope, whatever. But like, for him to say like, well, that's it. It's all loaded, and it's like, yes, those two containers that Chewbacca just carried here that we can all see that are just now like strapped to the speeder bike, the swoop bike here.
Yeah, it took you like a minute, dude.
Yeah. Surprised we didn't get the kind of 80s we can do it montage, kind of music of him like, cranking the ratchet to strap on the thing, but it only took 2 seconds. Is
this the first time we hear Warwick Davis speak in his real voice in a movie? I feel like that might be true.
It could be the first time that he gets in it, because I think we hear this same character, Weazel, just kind of, vocalizing, gesticulating in the.
But I mean, he's just part of a crowd.
Phantom Menace. Yeah,
we don't know exactly what it.
I think he just says, like.
Wait, is he the same character?
He is the same character.
Oh,
from the
okay,
Phantom
cool.
Menace.
I love it. I'm into it.
He was hanging out with the Hutts and stuff and Watto and got disillusioned and joined this proto-rebellion.
This is all covered in Solo, a Star Wars story, and I just missed it, right? I just forgot.
No. It's all just nuance and subtext. You can read it in his eyes.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's the kind of performance he brings.
Yeah, I think it's in, if I'm not mistaken, Alex, you have that information in Solo, the official guide. Right?
Well, what was the information I was giving?
The Weasel's history.
Yes. Do you want me to tell you?
No, I just wanted you to hold up the book again.
Yeah. So we get is this the first time where we realize that the Marauders are like the proto-rebellion? That this is like, that's what they're doing?
We learned they were on a small scale helping out the poor inhabitants of this planet, but this is the first time that they're framing it as a larger, we're fighting the Empire kind of. And the first time the rebellion was was being used.
So Han Solo is there at the start, he's...
Yeah. He can walk around, like in the end of Star Wars in the Massassi, the hangar. He can be like, hey, I started this. I invented this thing. You guys know
if it wasn't for the cadmium, what's the stuff?
Coaxium.
Coaxium. Yeah, he's like, if it wasn't for that coaxium, you guys wouldn't even have a temple.
None of this. None of you would have jobs if it wasn't for me. Well, I do. So she shows him the coaxium. Points at it. She's like, you know what this really is, and he has the matter of fact. He was like, yeah, like what does he say? For
60 million credits
60
worth
million
of coaxium.
Did you have this seems like an Alex Robinson type of thing. Did you write down what 60 million credits could buy you?
I tried to. I couldn't find anything that fit exactly, but
what was the bounty on his head? When
I don't think we ever. Oh.
Well, yeah, we know that there's a price. Do we know?
We don't know how much Greedo is trying to collect.
Yeah.
Well, we know when Boosh shows up in the Return of the Jedi with Chewbacca,
right,
and threatens with the thermal detonator. How much does she ask for? 10,000, 15,000, no less.
It's not that much.
I feel like it's higher than that because then they negotiate down to.
In Star Wars, Luke claims that for $10,000 you can almost buy your own ship.
Right.
So, I did look it up.
Okay.
How much do you want to guess a Imperial Star Destroyer would cost?
Oh boy.
Now, this is all. I'm assuming this all comes from a role-playing game because it's all in the Wikipedia.
This
All the
makes
ships
sense,
have prices, so it makes sense that they would.
Yeah. I don't know. A billion credits.
No, a much better deal. Only 150 million credits.
Really?
Okay.
Can buy you an Imperial Star Destroyer. So they are basically a little less than half of a Star Destroyer is what they are getting. A Rebel transport, I was surprised to learn, is 180 million credits.
There's more?
A Star Destroyer is less expensive than one of those shuttles that we see in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, the Tantive 4, yeah.
Somebody's getting
The only thing I can
fused.
think of is like bulk, like because the Empire orders thousands, and as we learn in Rise of Skywalker, they're even ordering extra ones that are off the books that are being shipped off to a secret location.
Yeah, and they're not paying retail for those. The Rebels have to pay retail for those. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
Imperial Shuttle you can get for a tidy 140,000 credits.
That's a good deal.
An Imperial Walker 150,000 credits. And if you want an X-Wing, that is also 150,000 credits. So 60 million credits. You can get a lot of X-Wings for that price.
Yeah.
I pulled up the script for Return of the Jedi, and Bush was asking for 50,000, but then eventually settles on 35.
Okay, that's just for Chewbacca.
That's just for Chewbacca.
Wow. So Han Solo's bounty was more than the price of a cheap ship.
It makes sense. They put a lot of effort into freezing him in carbonite.
He is mighty.
And you got to complete the set, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Chewbacca's the chase figure.
Right, yeah.
Was that Jabba's plan to freeze Chewbacca too, so he would have, like, bookends?
Totally. Like, I would love to see them as actual bookends, the one on either side.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Chewbacca frozen in carbonite. What would that look like?
Do you think he would do the same pose of his hands up on his sides?
No, because he saw Han frozen, so he's like, I'm not going to do that.
You know he's got to be yelling. I mean, that's his thing.
Or arms up over his head.
Up, probably.
Arms up over his head. That makes perfect sense.
That's
but I don't know if he's going to fit in the little hole, you know.
That's true.
He's a big boy.
He's all frozen, but his elbows are sticking out the side, and they're still furry. And it's just like,
they feel worn off from.
So I love that we are introduced to the idea of the rebellion, and immediately Han Solo is like, "Not for me," and they're like, "Someday," and then looks at the audience, and you're like, "Yeah, I get it. I know what's gonna happen. You don't have to surprise, you know."
Well, how many times do we think, in between this movie and Star Wars, how many times do we think Han Solo gets asked to join the rebellion?
7.
All right.
I'm going to go 6.
All right. Name it. I think once you get on their mailing list, probably every year they probably ask for donations. And
that's why he joins at the end. He's just like, all right, stop. It's just fine. Yeah. I'll do it. They're
like, the Empire is rolling back your rights. You need to join us.
What little thing would they include in the envelope to, as you know, like they'll put either like a nickel in, or they'll like return address envelopes or tote bags? I wonder what the rebellion gives away as like a incentive kind of a thing. Or do you think they just go on guilt about it's a little bit of Alderaan sand in each envelope?
That's not bad. I feel like some kind of an armband or like a headband. What's something? I feel like something very like late 70s would be the kind of vibe.
Yeah, but also rebellious. So you want it to be kind of I do like the idea of that. You know, you used to get the matched set of headband and wristbands on one. It was like a card, you know, with the headband and the 2 wristbands. That would be a good.
Yeah. What happened to that? Why can't you just buy wristbands and headbands?
I don't know.
Combo sets anymore. I need to work out, and I need sweat to not get on my hands or my face.
Yeah, and you want it to match. You know, you want to look, maybe like red, white, and blue stripes.
You gotta look cool. Like put a little rebellion symbol on there. Who do you think the graphic designer was who designed that rebellion symbol? Because it's pretty cool.
It is.
I mean, that's what they spent all that coaxium on.
Yeah. I like that. Just like they bring out like half of what they just took and they just wheel it right.
Because they pay their freelancers. That's the big difference between them and the Empire.
Although the Empire also has great graphic design, but again, it's all,
They just do it for exposure.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. Other empires will see this and be like, hey, we want to hire that person to do our insignias and lighting, classic lighting styles.
Yeah, they just got Space Hugo Boss to do all their design work and Space Volkswagen.
Right. Space Fanta.
Well, speaking of evil empires, I just realized, I don't know if we talked about this, but the fact that Enfys Ness is British, and traditionally in Star Wars, the bad guys tend to be British, although I guess we have had a handful of good British people over the years.
Guinness?
Alec Guinness, probably the...
Classic.
Yeah.
But, what was the... the Rebel voices, they were mostly dubbed. All of them were kind of dubbed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so...
With American people.
but the Rebels were more kind of American sounding, and they let the Imperials be more British sounding, which then kind of, I think...
How British are they?
But yeah, then I think, I'm trying to think of the people that we've had since then.
Well, I feel like in the sequel era, we've had Rey, we had Ira Bell, we had other
that
British
guy.
brunettes.
Why can't I remember his name? The guy who runs out to tell Mon Mothma.
Certainly
news.
in Rogue One we had a lot of. We had the guy with the mustache. Guy with mustache.
Guy with mustache. That's the guy I'm talking about.
Yep.
He does like experimental puppetry or something like that.
No, I meant the other guy. I didn't mean the guy who runs out the message. I meant
meant the blue leader.
Yeah, blue leader. That's right. Yeah.
Who I had a Lego of on my desk, but it doesn't seem to be here anymore.
You have any Legos, Stuart?
I don't think I do anymore. There was a while where Charlene, for my every year for Christmas, Char would get me a Lego set. And probably the highlight of that was the Lego Millennium Falcon, which was really great. And then I disassembled it and gave it to a friend as a going away present, because I found after a couple years, I'm like, now I have these big Lego sets that are built in a New York apartment. I don't have space for this. But no, that was a really good one. I feel like I got what was the assassin droid from Rogue One?
K2SO?
Yep, I got a big one of him that I got to assemble. That was pretty cool. He's a cool guy. He can survive in space.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. If I did, I wouldn't want to display them. They take up too much space, valuable space. So I would almost want to feel like the fun is putting it together.
100%.
So I think I would put it together, maybe keep it for a day or two, and then just bash it up and then say, I'll do it again in 3 years.
Take a picture of it, and then display it in like a Ziploc bag. Take it apart and display it in a Ziploc bag or one of those little glass jars that you put candy in with the picture in front of it. Be like, so like here's a whole pile of Lego bricks, but I turned it into this once and then I undid it. I don't have room for that. But
let the viewer participate by imagining what it would be like to put together.
Yeah, it's a very art installation energy coming from you, Pete. So wait a minute. You said she gives him Yoda's lightsaber?
Well, at the end, I don't think it's going to be Yoda's lightsaber. But she gives him something at the end. It's like it looks like a little cylinder of something. But sure, we'll find out tomorrow what it is.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough, and then that's how we find out that Yoda was Han Solo's father.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
But I think Yoda's lightsaber was missing at the end of Revenge of the Sith, so that is a plot hole that will have to be addressed at some point. Yeah. I would have to think Palpatine recovered it and probably put it in his. He probably put it in a jar in his house with a little picture of who he took it from, and then people. That's it.
He put it in there with a little cutout of the from the press materials for and
Palpatine doesn't want to let some poor space janitor clean up the Senate and accidentally cut his own leg off using Yoda's lightsaber.
Exactly.
We must have two other pointy-eared aliens for our Mount Rushmore with Gizmo and Grogu. There must be two others in there. There have to be.
Well, you don't want to double up and include. So
Adult
nobody else from
Yoda.
Star Wars, right?
Yeah, you don't want to put Yaddle in there.
Right, no Yaddle, no Evan Peel.
That's the one I was. So are there any other? I feel like there must be other characters that have big pointy ears like that.
I mean, like, yeah, well, like the characters from the indie comic Poison Elves.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Mac and Me. You remember that? Well, you must know Mac and Me.
Mac and Me on there.
on Mount Rushmore, on the actual Mount Rushmore. Not this isn't a separate Mount Rushmore. This is my years ago. I bought for my friend a plush facsimile, a little stuffed animal of the creature called Ryo-Oki from Tenchi Muyo, the anime series. Which looks kind of like a rabbit.
Describe that creature.
It looks kind of like a alien rabbit, but it's got these big, long, kind of more pointed type of ears, and it also has like a soul stone or whatever in its. So that fits the bill, because I think they even called it Gizmo for a while when my kids found it. Because I got it from my friend. Eventually, it ended up back in my care, and then my kids are just like, "Oh, it's Gizmo," because it looks almost.
Oh,
enough
so
like it.
your kids called it Gizmo. They didn't call it Gizmo as like.
No, not on the show. Joe Dante would have sued them.
Because if we're doing that, then we could put Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows, because Laszlo always calls him Gizmo.
Doesn't count. I just thought of it. No, actually, I didn't think of it. Someone at home was yelling at us. Dobby from the Harry Potter movies also has a very pointy
that actually
Yoda type ears. So thank you,
sense.
listener, for yelling that out to us. We almost missed it.
Yeah. All right, I like
Dobby!
this. I like this Mount Rushmore.
Anything else for minute 123?
I did want to go back to the line where she's, do you know what this is? And he was like, yeah, it's, $50,000 for the stuff. And she was like, no, it's the blood that brings life to something new. And I kind of wanted her to go into kind of an arcane ritual there and, summon kind of, some like a Lovecraftian monster by dumping the coaxium on the ground in a pentagram or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
After
think
they
that's going to happen.
sacrificed all of Dryden Voss's men.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're all pinned out in odd shapes, and trails are used to spell things.
Yeah, like one of the weirder Hannibal episodes.
It kind of annoys me in a way. I mean, I've said other times that it annoys me that the sequels were not more planned out. That clearly the makers of Rise of Skywalker and the makers of The Last Jedi, two totally different pages.
What?
But also it bugs me that here in both of the Star Wars stories that have to do with the rebellion, there wasn't more connection between, like, we didn't see Enfys Nest as an older person in Rogue One, and now we're seeing her younger. I don't know. I just felt like since you're doing these movies and you're jumping around through time, it's like a good opportunity to kind of have established more connections. But
so you're thinking Star Wars would be better if more people were connected and if it was more of a closed loop.
I mean, I need to know who Enfys Nest's dad is, because without that, it wouldn't make sense. She needs to have family Wait, does she have a dad? Did I miss that?
Yeah, her parents were the original Marauders. He took. Actually, I think she took over her mom. Yeah,
yeah, but her mom isn't like I don't know, like she isn't like a Jedi master who founded the Sith or some crap.
Right.
Like, okay,
no, I don't. At least not that I know of.
Her lineage remains unclear, which is good.
Well, so like for instance, in this one, she's saying, "Oh, it's the blood that will bring rebellion, the something," and then in Rogue One, she's like, "Oh, it's the spark that will light that will light the rebellion in the universe." Like just like I don't know, like little things like that. Like I feel like it could have been a bit more, I mean, part of Star Wars is the fact that everything is interconnected. So now to suddenly say, "Oh no, we can't have anything interconnected," that's like the thing is what it is. So
I don't want nothing to be connected, but I don't want everything to be connected either. I don't want more.
Well, she's about to bring this gold to the guy from the other guy, the Saw Gerrera. So it is connected. It's not like it's not there. They're just not, anyway.
Right.
Not a big deal, but it seems like a wasted opportunity, especially when you have all these time jumps going on to not take advantage of it more. So
maybe just have him show up, have Saw Gerrera show up and be like, thanks for this.
Yeah, yes, I know there's a multiverse version of ourselves where I'm complaining about the fact that everything is connected. So that's the way it goes.
It could have used a scene where Saw Gerrera shows up and he's like, thank you for this coaxium. I'm going to spend it all on this boar gullet.
Yeah.
It's like, I spent it all on this tiny little boar gullet.
Yeah. I got a guy who's giving me a deal on a baby boar gullet.
In the deep blue sea.
That would have been awesome.
Yes, I go back and forth on that. I think we need fewer connections and less everything.
I can see. I can understand the argument.
All right.
All right then. Well, speaking of arguments, if you want to argue with us, why not go to social media at Star Wars Minute on the Twitter, at the Star Wars Minute on Instagram. We also have, if you're a Facebook type, we got the Star Wars Minute Listener Society, where people are having all sorts of conversations about Star Wars and what it means to us here on
the Reddit?
What?
The Reddit?
Yeah, there's a Reddit group as well.
Right.
I didn't say Reddit, but there is a Reddit group. There's also. We are on TikTok. I don't think we've done any single thing yet. Really. Still waiting for Pete's debut dance video where he kind of shows the Twilight Shuffle.
Are kids still flossing?
I mainly just post workout videos.
There you go.
Videos of me like squatting weight.
Wow. Well, now people are definitely going to check that out. You want to share what it is? What's
Flophouse House Cat? Flophouse House Cat. That's me on TikTok. You can watch me. You can see videos of Warhammer models I painted and weight that I've picked up off the ground.
That's such a weird disparity. You continue of jock thing and nerd thing. You're like that's the perfect Zen balance of the two
things.
So yeah.
That's what you get when you follow Stuart.
All right, everyone. Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.